over the last decade. I don't know why Vince McMahon didn't need it. I think Triple H is
Now the heart, brother.
everybody that the show
You'll have to get your hands dirty.
without Vince McMahon. But we're going to talk about everything that happened tonight. There was an interview that was recorded over the weekend and then aired this morning on CNBC. So this is not something that came about this morning. This is not something that came about on Saturday or Sunday. This was already done. And ever since Vince McMahon mentioned strategic alternatives, and Nick Khan getting on board with using such terminology as strategic alternative, this was already done. This was done probably back, I would say, Royal Rumble. Going into the Elimination Chamber was a problem. And you kind of got a sense of where WWE was going with it anyway. I mean, look at WrestleMania. How did you guys feel about all the advertisements in WrestleMania, night 1 and night 2? This match sponsored by that. This match sponsored by something else. We got Seth Strong. We got Mike Hard. Mike's Hard Limited. Sponsoring the Intercontinental title match. This is something that you're going to see more and more and more often. But at the end of the day, I don't really give a shit who bought WWE, who merged with WWE. Do you know what I'm happy about? I'm happy about a company like Disney not buying WWE. Who doesn't know jack shit about anything? Pro wrestling. What the fuck are they going to do with WWE?
I have the heart.
You know what I'm happy about? The fact that the company
nothing
wasn't
more.
sold
You're set.
to the
Trying not to linger for it, eh?
And the company, by the way, this is the most important fact of the matter.
Kratos.
Vince was never, and I stress,
Zeus?
never going to engage
My father.
in
Your father was Zeus?
contracts or
That explains a
deals with anybody that
What is that place?
Never go there.
Never
Understand?
may have been the only group of people who said, you know what? We want Vince on board. We want Vince in charge in some way,
How
shape,
is he here?
in some capacity.
That is not possible.
It's just an illusion. Hell
They were in discussions to buy
is known for torturing its inhabitants with their own past. We should focus on getting back to your son.
Purchase WWE, or some of the people that were showing interest in purchasing WWE, they laid the ground rules. We're interested. We'll pay you what you want, but we don't want this man in charge. Like, we don't want to work with you. So Liberty Media, Comcast, and anybody else that was in negotiations to work with WWE in a potential sale, Endeavor was the only one that opened their doors to Vince McMahon still being on board and in charge.
That lock needs a gust of hell's wind to open it.
Ariel Emanuel, or Ari Emanuel, and Vince McMahon spans 20 years plus. So not only did he work with Endeavor to get himself back in power and give himself a power, this man is now combining the two biggest sports entities in combat sports and pro wrestling, sports entertainment, whatever you want to call it. And he's engaging in this partnership with somebody that he's known for over 2 decades. So this all exactly worked out the way that I told you it was going to be. It was never about a sale of the company. I feel like you guys, when you listen to me say that, I want you to think
Ain't
about
supposed
that
to
in your
be
fucking
here.
sleep.
It's cold.
I hope I
Real
really
quick, give me your
push
blades.
that
Why?
on.
I said I'd help you and I aim
About
to.
the
Come
sale
on.
of the company. The company wasn't even sold.
My equipment's
Vince
in
wanted to
Midgard.
sell the
Be
company.
right back.
Vince would have
Yeah.
sold the company.
You don't suppose he'd nick those,
But
do
he
you?
sold 51% of
There.
the company.
Now they're ready for the winds of hell.
49% of the
Just
company
target
still
this
remains
magical goalie right here with your blades and throw.
And he merged the company. He wanted to sell the company. He wanted to sell the company. 100%. And Vince, like he told everybody,
That wind trap.
it was never about the sale of the company. Because he wanted to sell the company. He sold the fucking company. He did not sell the company. He merged the company. And it's fucked up.
I sometimes wonder if there was once some sort of accident in his brain.
We have been away too long.
100%. It's not going to be left to Shane. It's not going to be left to Steph. He's not going to be left to Triple H. It's not. It was never about the sale of the company. It was about how to get Vince McMahon back in power. And now, the transaction not completed yet. It's not completed yet. But the transaction approached don't give a shit. Denies that. I don't give a shit what you
Behind
think
you.
He says, Triple H has no power in any way, shape, or form. He doesn't. You think that Triple H has any sort of power? You're an idiot. Triple H has no say in anything. Vince McMahon basically threw it out in plain sight. Are you running creative? Yes and no. Yeah, you're running creative. You're running creative. Is he running creative completely? I don't think he is. And I promise you guys, I'll bring you back on the narrative of Vince this, Vince that. That's the problem that I had from the very word of, the problem I had from the start. I don't want Vince to do anything. I think his influence actually is. I think Vince was some people were even saying that Vince back in charge. Vince never left. I don't give a fuck who owns the company. I don't want him there. Nobody wants him there. I don't think the people that work for the company want him there. We're going to talk about what was said on this CNBC interview. We're going to talk about what potentially happened with the most business sad how I went into this life today, but I can give you my mindset on where this is possibly going. I know a lot of people worry about Triple H's position in the company. Vince has actually somebody that he has to answer to. Vince has somebody that he has to answer to. Ari Emanuel is 51%. Vince is still the executive chairman.
Sorry, brother, I'm still stuck on what I heard back there. Zeus was your father?
Not now. You should focus on getting out of hell.
And with that, I cannot argue. I'll just contemplate that little nugget in silence then.
They're merging other pieces of management together to create this mega power. So we're going to talk about this, and we're going to get right into it, but I want to thank you guys so much for joining me on the podcast today, man. I was not expecting to be live, but like I had to. You are listening today, rest up, come back later, Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania, supposedly a big show. I got some news and notes on that, and it's going to be a big show for the entire year for Monday Night Raw, so I'm excited to see what happens there, but if you guys can kindly please hit that thumbs up. We got 3,000 people here on Monday afternoon, so if you guys are in the chat, and you what are you worried about? What do you expect from this dude? Care? Do you not care? Sound off in these super chats and let's chat at the end of the show. Memberships are open. Get them on in. We'll hang out as well with the members, and we'll shout you guys out as well at the end of the show. And if you guys want to become a channel member, all you have to do is hit that join button and become a VIP. Right here on Off the Script. WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2 broke records for the podcast tremendous weekend, man. Thank you so very much. The exhaustion that I'm feeling is absolutely worth it. I wouldn't change a fucking thing. That's why I got my caffeine instead of my cold beverage. I have a hot beverage. But thank you guys so very much, man. We're going to do it again tonight on Monday Night Raw. But if you missed any of that content, it is on the channel right now. Go check that out. And I will be uploading this show and Night 2 of WrestleMania to Spotify, iTunes, and Blue Wire, and all other audio platforms immediately following this show. So you guys have all that to look forward to on your way to work tonight or tomorrow morning. You guys have it in your back pocket so you can listen to me on the go whenever you want. Let's get into it, man. I have everything pulled up here. And I want to start with the WrestleMania event that we just got done with. WWE is already touting that WrestleMania 39 was the most successful WrestleMania of all time. It broke viewership, live gate, sponsorship revenue, merchandise revenue, and social media records across the board. And good for them. It was their most epic production to date. It was, I don't want to say the greatest WrestleMania of all time. I think Night 2 really took it with some of the things that happened. And the match card really did it in Night 2. Night 1 was fantastic. I thought Night 1 was incredible. But Night 2 kind of brought down that rating. And I would absolutely go out there and say that this was at least a top 5 WrestleMania in WWE history, which is tremendous in itself. Because normally, you know, the longer these events go on, you know, sometimes they don't really hit like the older ones do. But WWE has taken it to the next level, man. They are completely operating on a different planet when it comes to this type of shit. And it's only going to be enhanced with the UFC merger and Endeavor partnership. WWE smashed viewership and all other records. They announced this today via the New York Stock Exchange. WWE announced that WrestleMania 39 became the most successful and highest grossing event in company history. The two-night sold-out event at SoFi Stadium set new records in viewership, gate, sponsorship, merchandise, and social media. Night 2 of WrestleMania surpassed the existing global viewership record by 33% just one day after WrestleMania Night 1 surpassed the existing global viewership record by 28%. That's obviously having to do with Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns and the big match that they had advertised coming into this thing. WrestleMania 39 generated a gate of more than breaking the previous records by 27%, with 161,892. I believe it's 20 million gate they broke. Generated a gate of more than 20 million, and an attendance of 161,892 at SoFi Stadium. That's over 2 nights. So obviously, with the 2-night mania, they're going to break records regardless because it's a 2-night mania. In addition, WrestleMania 39 broke all-time sponsorship and merchandise records. Sponsorship revenue eclipsed several million. Previous record. Merchandise sales were up 20% versus the record set in 2022. WrestleMania 39 became the most social WrestleMania of all time, with over 500 million views and 11 million hours of video consumed over the 2 days, a 42% increase over last year. So that is tremendous for WWE, and you knew that they were going to come out first thing in the morning and gloat about the most successful WrestleMania of all time. But I do think that this was a top 5 WrestleMania for WWE since the birth of the event. I thought this event this weekend was tremendous. WrestleMania in the past several years, I do think that the reinvigoration of the product led by Paul Levesque has definitely helped. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with WrestleMania 40. Man, 40 is a big number, a nice round number. 40th anniversary of WrestleMania should be tremendous. And we still have the Bloodline moving forward on WWE television, which upset everybody in the main event of Night 2 with Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. Backstage news on when WWE decided to have Roman Reigns retain the undisputed Universal Championship at WrestleMania 39. The match saw outside interference from the Usos, Paul Heyman, Solo Sikoa, the entire Bloodline, and the finish saw Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens try to help Cody We got a stunner. We got a lubricant. It would have been poetic justice. Sami Zayn to help Cody Rhodes win the championship and crown a new world champion. All of a sudden, crossroads, and Samoa spike out of nowhere. Solo Sikoa got kicked out of the ringside area early on in the night. Comes back to the hood, over his face. Samoan spiked Cody behind the referee's back, and Roman Reigns with a spear, and that was it. 1, 2, 3, and Cody Rhodes fails at completing his story. There were reports today that when Vince McMahon was still in power before he retired last summer, there were no plans for Reigns to lose the championships. Once he was out of power, the company put plans in place for Rhodes to challenge Roman Reigns for the championships at WrestleMania. Several people in WWE began to defend the idea of Reigns retaining the title over the last week, and there started to be rumblings that Reigns may come out on top in the week leading into the WrestleMania main event. Fightful says this: "We have now confirmed that the plan for Roman Reigns to emerge victorious was set, and several people were aware of it several weeks ago. We're not told when the talent was informed," the report noted. Fightful did confirm that the interference elements were not told to the talent, the referees, and ringside staff until late in the day. Sources denied McMahon was involved in making the call to have Reigns retain. I don't give a fuck what the sources deny. Roman Reigns retaining the championship was a Vince McMahon call. It definitely had Vince McMahon influence written all over. I don't give a fuck who you are, SAP, or fucking Fightful, or PW Insider. I don't give a single fucking shit who you are. Vince McMahon is in a higher power of creative. And I'll get into what he said because he used that exact terminology. Vince McMahon, this is a Vince McMahon project. The Bloodline, Roman Reigns, the Usos, and everything that you've seen over the last 7 to 8 to 9 months. Where did it begin? It began under Vince McMahon's watch. Vince McMahon had zero plans for Roman Reigns when he gave him the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Vince had no clue on when, where, and to who Roman Reigns would lose that championship to. And that point was proven on Sunday night at WrestleMania. The internet wrestling community legitimately called me shitstorm garbage on Monday morning. Sunday morning to Monday morning. I went to bed with people crying to wake up on Monday morning with people crying even still harder than they were on Sunday night. Sometimes I love to watch the world.
Oh shit!
I felt that one, brother. Gonna be all right. Well, that's it then.
McIntyre was never scheduled to win the WWE titles. Sami Zayn was never meant to win the WWE championships. Cody Rhodes was your best bet, and even he was not meant to win the WWE championships at WrestleMania. You can cry all you want, and you can cry about how Cody's adversity came in the build for 7 years. You cannot use that as an excuse, because the adversity that you are mentioning is not the adversity that WWE has portrayed on their television. If you're going to celebrate the adversity of Stardust and Cody and AEW and everybody did on the Indies, then you do a better job of telling me what the fucking adversity is for Cody Rhodes. What you got last night.
Felt that one, brother.
Yeah.
Behind you, watch out!
Damn!
Searching for candidates with the right skills. It's a powerful hiring platform that can help you do it all. One of the things I love about Indeed is that it makes hiring
Fuck.
in one place so easy because Indeed does the hard work for
No.
you. They show you the candidates whose resumes are in your description immediately after you post so you can hire faster. Join more than 3 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent. And start hiring now.
Got that one, brother.
He said it last night, and I mentioned it last night too. I got this one guy back
Well, what's that fine mess?
World Series going into Game 7, and I'm on the edge of my seat, fucking rocking back and forth like Mick Foley as mankind in the fucking basement of a building somewhere, losing my fucking mind. That's what I felt like I was watching. I felt like I was watching a sporting event. I wasn't for Cody. I wasn't for Roman. I was for the best decision possible for the storyline moving forward. Roman says that they're only in the third inning. You're only in the third inning. So Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso being on board was the first inning. Sami Zayn joining the bloodline, and then his story was the second inning. Cody Rhodes is now entering the third inning. Roman's not going all 9 innings. Roman's not catching a fucking no-hitter here. You have nothing to worry about. Roman's not going that deep into the game, let me tell you. Because when we get to about the 5th or 6th inning, Roman's getting pulled. We're getting a relief pitcher coming in, and Cody is going to win the World Championships at SummerSlam. A lot of people are forgetting about this little thing that WWE just brought back to a premium live event called King of the Ring. You don't think Cody Rhodes would be a perfect King of the Ring, giving him a chance at the World Championship, giving him that shot at Roman Reigns? That's the mountain that Cody Rhodes needs to overcome. That's the adversity that Roman Reigns is going to bring down upon Cody Rhodes. You ain't getting shit. You ain't getting. There was nobody that got a rematch before you, and you're not getting a rematch. I'm the tribal chief. I already took care of you. Cody's going to have to go through the bloodline. Cody's going to have to go win the King of the Ring to get that World Championship match. And when it happens, it will be under a stipulation where Cody is going to beat Roman clean. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know why everybody is freaking out. Everybody's like, oh, if not Cody, then who? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Roman beat Cody, and people are already asking, if not Cody, who? Cody! Cody's the guy! Cody's gonna win the title! You're just too stupid to see it! God, do I love being right! You don't want a story! You want to hang on 7 years that never happened in the WWE as the story? Are you fucking stupid? We know the story! The WWE audience doesn't know the story! You're not gonna know that story! Cody's the first year, and he knows
Anda, memang.
Have been challenged at SummerSlam where Roman Reigns' reign began in 2020. It began at SummerSlam, it ends at SummerSlam. Then you're going to get the people saying that WrestleMania was the moment, and that it's not going to be duplicated the same way. I don't give a fuck what you say. When you get that match again, it's going to be even bigger deal. Because Cody is going to now be booked through the fucking ringer, and there's going to be more bullshit thrown out in that. I love it. I love it. Remember how we felt with Daniel Bryan? Do you remember how we felt with Daniel Bryan? How many times did we have to be heartbroken when he finally got that match, when he got that Mania moment, when he beat Triple H, when he got into the triple threat match at WrestleMania 30? How when he finally overcame the fucking devil? When he finally beat the administration of WWE, calling him a B+ player, having shit fucking thrown in his way. This, that, obstacle. How great was it when he finally won? It's almost as if you guys forgot that storytelling still exists. Get out of your fucking TikTok phase. Get out of your IG, Insta Reels, and whatever the fuck you guys are doing on social media. Put the shit down and watch storytelling played out over a long-term period. I guarantee you, you're gonna feel a lot better when Cody wins the World Championships this time. Before anything else gets in your way, you're gonna be feeling a lot better when he wins the title at SummerSlam than you are at WrestleMania. Guarantee it. That's all I have to say on that. I actually think I did a better job explaining this to you tonight than I did last night in my fucking sleepiness. Ridiculous. Monday Night Raw. Then we'll get into the UFC stuff. Monday Night Raw. Triple H will make a big announcement on Monday Night Raw tonight. WRKD Wrestling first reported the news, and there are no details right now on what the announcement might be, but Triple H will start Monday Night Raw with a huge announcement. Obviously, it's probably going to be something along the lines of this is a brand new era, and yada, yada, yada. I don't think that this is much of anything. It's not going to be a big return or a big debut or somebody that they just bring into the company as a brand new signing. This is going to be about, WWE entering a brand new era. He's the face of creative, and I say face of creative. That's what this hosting the WWE. He's the puppet for WWE, so he's going to get everybody hyped up for a brand new era of WWE. Basically. Because Matt Riddle was put on the shelf, storyline-wise, by the Book. So, I don't really care for that either. The other big name could be Jay White.
Better get home to your boy already.
Maybe we see someone like that align with Cody Rhodes, which I don't think that's the case at all, but he is rumored to be on the show, and there are rumors that he is signing with WWE, and tonight would be the night. I don't know. I think it could be Randy Orton. Could be Randy Orton with Cody Rhodes and his ties with Randy Orton and vice versa. It could be Randy Orton. It could be anybody. So the mystery tonight is really going to be a mystery. So we will see what happens, but I'm excited about that. A special guest will be joining the Latino World Order. I did read that Bad Bunny is scheduled to be on the show tonight, so that may be what that is alluding to. And Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn will be defending their newly won tag team titles against the Street Profits, who won the men's showcase match at WrestleMania. And we will see what transpires for the rest of Monday Night Raw. Who from NXT is getting called up? Are we getting some new signings joining the company, debuting tonight? It's going to be a big night. It's going to be a huge, important evening show is over right here on the podcast. Let's get into the WWE sale of what happened today. The WWE sale, the merger with UFC, this partnership with Endeavor. The news that broke this morning after the most successful WrestleMania of all time. WWE obviously sold to Endeavor. This was reported yesterday by CNBC. And this is now looking like WWE and UFC will be under the same umbrella. The report states that Endeavor would own 51% of the company, giving them the majority share, while WWE shareholders would get 49% as they start a new publicly traded company. Fightful has reached out to WWE officially, hasn't heard back, but they've spoken with tons of talent and staff. Thus far, they haven't been briefed, but many were told that the sales process was ongoing and moving along well, going into the final moments of last night's WrestleMania. Because that's when the news broke, yesterday before WrestleMania. There was buzz this week among several in WWE that a deal was being finalized with a non-Saudi Arabian buyer. So the Saudis, the rumor of the Saudis, and whatever happened earlier in the year where that story broke, and then a lot of people look like a bunch of fucking geeks in the wrestling media, they are silent, number one. Number two, it is now looking like that was kind of thrown out there on purpose, falsified on purpose, to kind of gauge the reaction of if WWE did sell to the Saudis. But at that point, I don't think WWE was really, anywhere close to getting a deal done with Endeavor. After that came about, they kind of got the glimpse of what the reaction would be, and then they moved forward with the deal with Endeavor. So I do believe that Saudi rumor was thrown out there on purpose to gauge reaction. WWE had told Fightful that
Shouldn't
they
delay,
would be
brother.
hosting
Straight back to Midgard
Super
for that
in
half.
Los Angeles WrestleMania weekend, and Fightful learned the deal was in motion well ahead of anything planned for WrestleMania. It was also in motion when Vince McMahon nailed down a 2-year employment contract with WWE. Now, a lot of people are raising this question as well. What is Vince McMahon's power in the company? He's now executive chairman of the board. He is holding his position that he currently held. He will be monitoring, and he's basically the boss of WWE. He is the executive chairman of the board. He's got the same power that he had in WWE, now with the merger
Finally
with UFC.
understand. I'm dangling from the hip of the bloody ghost of Sparta.
Do not call me that.
What, don't mistake me, brother. From what I heard, the Pantheon had it coming. It's still a bit to take in. I knew you hate gods, but you really can't stay away from them, can you?
You must say nothing to the boy. You must never know.
Boy, respect boys. He has to know. You'll never be whole without the truth.
Basically, for all the reasons that I kind of
Look,
prep
I
you
get
guys
it.
on.
You hate the gods, all
Basically
gods.
wanted to manipulate
Well,
his way
actually,
back
that
to
includes
power. He
yourself.
wanted to really
And
throw
it
in everybody's
includes your
face,
boy.
sign a 2-year agreement,
You see that?
employment
He
contract.
feels that.
But he also did
Can't
it as
help
the
what
way
it is.
where
He
it's
can't
a little
begin
bit
to help
of
it
an insurance
because you
policy.
haven't even told him.
Now, he's got a
It's
2-year
all
contract.
connected,
He's going to be there
man.
for 2 years. What happens after 2
tell
years,
him
I have no
nothing.
idea. But Vince McMahon covered all his
Very
bases
well.
with this contract that he signed for 2 years. They can get rid of him. I mean, it's got to be justifiable cause to get rid of him. But they're not going to get rid of him because now he's a 2-year employee contract for 2 years. So he did it as a nice little cushion for himself.
Hey, so you
that
know
they
that
couldn't
shortcut
do anything
between
to him
realms?
in
Well, I made it
the
better.
stages of this partnership.
Or I might have broke it.
When Endeavor
Use
acquired
that.
UFC in
I know what you
2016,
do.
they looked to retain
So
Dana
I
White
took
and
a few
Cole,
dust from them
although
winds
he
of
had
hell
many
and made it so it ain't
years
just
leading
one
the charge
way.
and Vince McMahon
Now
was.
you can use it to
Plus,
travel
McMahon
to and
claimed
from.
that he was adamant to
If I
them
can break
that he was returning
Men
to
can take
oversee
Freya.
either a sale,
There's an idea,
rights
brother.
fees negotiations, or both. WWE Creative claims they have not interacted with
Just
McMahon
go, brother.
since his departure last summer or since he forced his way back into the company in December. And that I believe, because Vince McMahon does not need to go through creative. There are, 50, 60, 70 creative writers in this company? Vince McMahon doesn't give a shit about any one of those creative writers that are employed by WWE. If Vince McMahon went through creative, then it would blow up bigger than WWE wants it to blow up. He wants it to be working in the shadows, and he doesn't want his presence really felt unless it's somebody that he wants to really have his presence felt alongside.
Damn, well.
Bruce Pritchard knows Vince McMahon is a creative. He'll deny it. Triple H has outwardly said that Vince McMahon yields phone calls from him and vice versa about creative. And Vince McMahon even said so today in the interview that we're going to go over that he is still
Well,
a
you
part
gentlemen
of
certainly know how to get
But
around.
Vince needs to create. He doesn't need to. Vince McMahon is going to do what he wants. If he's got a problem, he's going to work at the very top. He's got a problem, he's going to pick up the phone and call Bruce. He's got a problem, he's going to pick up the phone and call Triple H. He doesn't need to go through fucking Ricky Dick fucking Pete, writer number 14, to go talk about a problem or what he wants on the show or what he doesn't want on the show. Why would he go do that? He's got a problem, he wants something changed, he wants something in general, he's going to call the son. Simple. So yes, no shit. WWE creative has heard from
Well,
Vince
this
McMahon.
isn't right.
They are never gonna
Yeah,
hear
but
from
close
Vince
enough.
McMahon.
He did say there were kinks.
We must hurry.
Several talent have had concerns he's getting more involved. There are rumors going around that scripts are being a little bit more, I would say, scripted is a good word.
Lord.
Everything feels a little bit more scripted than it did when he retired, because he immediately needed to go away, then he started to slowly creep himself back into the process. Things are being highlighted, things are being
Back
a
of
little
your
bit more written out. They're telling the wrestlers what to say. It's reportedly that it's a very scripted-like environment. Again, instead of being free-flowing
can break the fever,
allowing some of the top-tier
but to
talent that's
heal.
trusted to go out there and do what they need to do and feel a little bit more organic and feel a little bit more natural. There were reports going around that there are several rewrites
Help me pop him
nowadays than there were in the beginning stages of when Triple H took over. What does that mean? That was a common occurrence under Vince McMahon in his administration. Scripts would be written up and then
Did I
ripped
tell you
up
that I have a
right
son
before the show
too?
went up, and then only to be rewritten
It's
during the
been
show. That's what they
forever
feel like is
since I
changing.
last saw him.
Characters that were off TV now
At
are
his
back on
birth, the
TV
rumors
because there are
foretold
things that
the
Vince
meat was
McMahon
fresh.
either created and he wants to see through, or
Baby
things that
Mines
happened
was
under
so
Vince McMahon's watch when he was there
stubborn.
completely in charge. That
So
Triple H
helpless.
changed, and now they reverted back to the way Vince
I knew
McMahon
right then
had
I
them
would do
previously, like Asuka.
anything to protect him.
This is so the deterioration of
No matter the
Asuka
sacrifice.
since the Royal Rumble. Maximum Male Models being back on TV. Bray Wyatt doing the muscle man.
Of course, everything I did for myself. I let my needs,
Shit like that.
my fears,
Karrion Kross kind of being
come before what he
scaled
needed.
back on TV. You
And I couldn't see his resentment
being
until it was
taken
time.
off. You didn't really see much of them through most of this year. So
Have faith in
WWE
me.
is looking at a
I know the
situation
truth
where
is
things were in place in Triple H. Now,
But
with
nothing
Vince
is
back in
when
charge,
Vince returns.
things are slowly starting to go back to the way they were when he was there completely 100%. Chad Gable was a little short and ugly. Johnny Gargano had his height mentioned
It is a
on
curse.
WWE television a couple weeks ago.
The boy has been
I don't know what to
cursed.
tell you. That's not Triple H thing. It's a Vince McMahon thing. Now, I will say this. I will call it out. I will make these references when I need to.
without me.
I promise you guys I'm not going to make it a big deal. But I will call it out when I see shit like this happening because now we know for a fact. We know for 100% fact.
I'm better
Because he
now.
said it himself there. He is in creative, working in some capacity
Is he
with
willing to
creative.
travel?
He never left. So I will call it out now that we know what we know. But do I think Vince
Things
McMahon is
happen again.
completely in charge of creative? No. Do I think that he's in charge of some aspects of creative?
Accept it,
Yes.
doesn't
Do I think Triple H is in charge of majority creative? Yes, I do. But I also feel like Triple H, and you cannot fault me for this, because Vince McMahon said it today in this interview, I do think that Triple H is nothing more than a fucking figurehead and a title. And I feel like, because it's happened in the past, that when things don't go the way Vince McMahon wants, and he knows what's going to happen over the next 2 years, as he does have this 2-year contract now of employment,
Freya,
if things
I
don't go
will
his
not
way,
forget this.
how quick is he going to get rid of what he doesn't like? And how quick is he going to get rid of something he doesn't want? Or
Your
something
father
that he
did the
does
heavy
want?
lifting.
And how
You
soon
should
is he going
stay,
to take
recover.
more and more and more
You
power?
have done
Maybe
enough.
a slow, gradual thing. That's want to word because he used some terminology in the CNBC interview that he used when he appointed Eric Bischoff and Paul Heyman as executive directors of
Now then, before Modi so rudely interrupted us, we were just about to explore Tyr's vault.
Yes. To find the Black League. Boy, do you know the way from here?
Oh, I don't know.
Sure you do, lad. We need a
Who's
boat.
to say he doesn't do the same thing with Triple H?
I guess we need a vote.
And it doesn't matter if
Okay,
it's
then.
his son-in-law because they didn't stop Vince McMahon from completely destroying the best thing that they've had in decades with NXT Black and Gold. He didn't blink a fucking eye. He didn't give a fuck who was running that company, son-in-law or not. He blew it up, destroyed it, and they fucking killed it. So you don't think he is capable of doing the same thing with Triple H if he finds some fucking justifiable reason to do so? Several talents have concern that he's getting more involved. McMahon was backstage at both Raw and SmackDown this week. Those that we spoke to with knowledge of the situation said that McMahon would have had protections to either keep him around or in some capacity, or have a healthy severance clause in the event that he or quickly can. Fightful spoke to employees from several potential suitors who said that McMahon wanted to remain involved. That would be a major sticking point and a hurdle for a variety of reasons for sale to get done. Among those included the new post-McMahon regime showing from a creative standpoint that they were more competent in leading the charge. We don't need Vince McMahon. We don't need, if there's one thing that Triple H has gone out there and proved, we don't need Vince McMahon in the new regime that we have in place. Vince only wants to be there because he's just power hungry and greedy, and he thinks he is right and everybody else is wrong. But if anything has shown us, it's that Vince McMahon is not needed in WWE for creative and I would say business standpoint because that's why they hired someone like Nick Khan. Nick Khan is facilitating a lot of these deals, and Nick Khan has a lot of, not only does he have a lot riding on what he does, but Nick Khan has a lot of relationships, and Nick Khan has a lot of great ideas. He's got more power than he did before, and now WWE merging with the benefit to both parties. Does he need to be there for this to happen? No, he won't. Does Vince McMahon need to be there to facilitate TV rights deal negotiations? No, Nick Khan will do that. What the fuck did you hire him for? Vince only wants to do it because he can't get used to staying in the background. He wants power. He's greedy. And this is everything that he set out to do. Now look at where he is. He manipulated the fucking game, and he won. Now, Fightful has not heard of an update regarding the creative aspects and how Triple H will remain involved. I'll get into that in a second. However, Fightful did speak with Endeavor sources who indicated a trust in what they've seen out of him and a general respect for the work Stephanie McMahon did before leaving. So there's no reason why Endeavor's going to remove anybody from their current positions. I mean, they said that WWE was going to operate on that separate. Why would they fuck with the system that WWE has in place? I mean, if anybody knows what needs to be done over there, it's the fucking team that Triple H has already put in place. On Raw and SmackDown. Endeavor recently acquired Asylum Entertainment, a non-scripted production company. WWE has also had numerous talents driven with non-scripted shows. In addition, Endeavor owns UFC, which has featured the likes of Brock Lesnar, Shayna Baszler, Ronda Rousey, Matt Riddle, and others on the roster. One source with Endeavor that Fightful immediately spoke to believed that if an acquisition were to take place, which it did today, it would provide more mainstream opportunities and opportunities in general for WWE talent without fear of losing them to outside projects, as Endeavor is in a healthy position to provide those opportunities and projects. Another source in Endeavor was confident that a sale would lead to additional opportunities for talent, with the source pointing out that products acquired are allowed to have exclusive content pages such as OnlyFans, a brand army, or brand army for additional income. However, an agent that has worked with both UFC and WWE talent would point out that UFC has let top fighters walk, overpaying them, passing on dreams in addition to repeatedly taking steps to eliminate outside advertisements in Cage for fighters. It should be noted that UFC arranges their own outfitting sponsors, though the money varies based on what fighters can command themselves. So that's all positive there, but I don't know if WWE is going to get in bed with any of that, because like I said, they're going to do what they need to do, and UFC is going to do what they need to do. It's going to be up to Ariel Emanuel to see if he wants to go and bring that forth to the WWE product. But I do suspect, and this is where I do think change is going to happen, I do suspect with what we saw at WrestleMania, you're going to be seeing more advertisements for matches. You're going to be seeing brands integrated onto the wrestling mat. You're going to be seeing advertisements across the new LED boards that sit around ringside on Raw and SmackDown. You're going to get that type of shit. And I'm okay with that. AEW does it with DraftKings. AEW does it with others. You know, it's something that you got to get used to. I didn't really bat an eyelash at some of the advertisements on WrestleMania. Did I think that was a little overabundant of advertisements? Yes. I felt like there was an advertisement every fucking 5 minutes. But I'm okay with that. I'm not really sitting here telling you that I found Mike's Hard Lemonade sponsoring the Intercontinental Championship match a fucking problem. To me, it just makes the WWE more lucrative. It makes the WWE more presentable. It makes the WWE a little bit more appealing to everybody else watching it. And honestly, you know, you look at it as a fucking hindrance because it maybe gets in the way of your viewing experience. But I find it to be a little on the scale of WWE being up there, even more so than they were. It makes them more of an attractive brand. It makes them seem like a bigger deal when you got all these different types of sponsors coming out wanting to be part of what they're creating. Who gives a shit? We want WWE to be around forever. We want it to be around until we're fucking old and can't do this anymore. So go out and make your money. I don't give a fuck who they get, who's advertising, who's sold, who the company sold to. I don't care. Nothing's going to change on my end. Nothing's going to change on how I cover the show. Nothing's going to change on anything, on how I do anything on this show. If it sucks, I'm going to tell you. If I don't like it, I'm going to tell you. If Vince is a part of something and I know he's a part of something, I'm going to tell you he's a part of something. If I feel things are good, I'm going to tell you. Nothing's going to change. Nothing should change for you in this process right now. Will things change? Sure. Do I hope for the best for the roster? Sure. Would I love to see people get OnlyFans and things that they're not allowed in WWE if it makes the company more money and it keeps the roster happy, which should be number one? Sure. Would I like to see them get brand army deals for additional income? Sure. But everybody's like, oh, this is a bad. Some of the people, I'm not saying everybody, some of the people are on the same page as I am. I don't give a fuck. I think this is a great opportunity for both. It makes them into a mega power. UFC is incredibly popular. Maybe some of that will start to rub off on WWE and it's going to make WWE more lucrative in the end. Some of the people gatekeeping I see online, those are the people that have a fucking problem with it. They think that Conor McGregor is going to end up in the octagon with fucking Roman Reigns, or, you know, someone like Ronda Rousey is going to end up back in the octagon again and fucking rule what you got going on over there. No. Will there be crossover? The potential for crossover will be there, but it's not going to result in Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns getting in the octagon. It's ridiculous to even think that. They're going to be separate entities. They're going to be operating separately. They're going to form this mega power, and they are going to be a publicly traded company together. They already are looking at the ticker initials of TKO for Wall Street. Now, I don't know what this means for Wall Street. I'm not really the most Wall Street savvy guy. But from what I gather, this is not really a good short-term outlook for the shareholders. Now, if WWE and UFC combine forces here and they set up a brand new publicly traded company, which they said could take anywhere between 4 and 6 months, then obviously you're going to be a shareholder looking at, well, this is probably going to end up being a good thing. You're going to have to wait on getting any sort of kickback from what you got right now. Those stocks and those shares, I believe, are going to transfer over to what the new shares and the new company is going to be. So if you're a current shareholder right now, I believe that it's all going to be transferred over to what happens next in 4 to 6 months. Obviously, it's not a a good short-term plan because these people obviously looking at this merger or potential sale happening. They want their instant gratification here, just like the Cody Rhodes fans. But you're not going to get that. Now you're going to have to wait to see how the new company does on Wall Street, and then you're going to do what you need to do there and decide on what you want to do. Keep your stocks or sell your stocks. I don't know. I don't really know what's going to happen with that. But at the end of the day, there are positives to this. There are negatives to this, clearly. But at the end of the day, I'm not really all that concerned about buying WWE. The only thing that I was concerned with is how much power Vince McMahon does have at the end of the day. And we now know what power he does have. The sale in general has been a major talking point backstage for WrestleMania, or at WrestleMania. The talent really aren't sure what's going on. The talent is definitely on the fence about all this because with this merger, there's going to be budget cuts. You know for a fact that there are going to be budget cuts. Talent may be cut. Nobody knows how much talent is going to be able to be brought in. That came to a standstill. Triple H stopped the hiring process, and you felt like every week you would somebody back. That just stopped. Will there be budget cuts? Yes. I also feel like, and something happened today on the NXT brand, Grizzled Young Veterans, they were released. The Dyad, or whatever the fuck they were called, they were a part of Joe Gacy's schism, they were released. I honestly feel like if you want out, I don't think WWE or UFC or these new partners are going to hesitate on letting anybody go because there's going to be times, and there's going to be a time where cuts are going to be made. So if they are looking at somebody that wants out and they've asked for their release, they're probably going to be more lenient in letting them go. More opportunities now for people to go and get out because they're uncertain and they're weary about what's going on. And more opportunities open up on the indies, and the talent pool now start to open up on the indies. And people are jumping ship now to go grab a job somewhere else instead of being stuck there and they can't get out for as long as they are contracted to the company. So I'm going to start to say, or I'm going to start to see rather, I believe we're going to start to see a lot more talents being released when they've asked to be released. So the talent right now, they don't know what's going on. I believe there's a talent meeting today or tonight right before Monday Night Raw where management's going to address what happened today with the talent. I don't know what's going to be said there. I'll keep you guys updated, and if I do get anything on that from any of the sources or any of the dirt sheets, I'll let you guys know about that on Monday Night Raw tonight during the podcast. But we're told the relationship with WWE and Saudi Arabia was, obviously not going to be sold to them, but it will continue because they do have, I believe, 7 years left on their contract with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Now, as far as the UFC pay-per-views and the way that their model is for the ESPN Plus app, a lot of people are wondering and worrying that WWE could change their pay-per-view model. Nick Khan has already said that there is a possibility of that happening. And I do believe that that will be also one of the changes that will happen. WWE right now is going to be in negotiations with Fox and NBC. And Nick Khan's already said that Fox and NBC are going to get first dibs about WWE if they want to keep WWE on their platforms or not. So he's giving them first dibs. The most important thing is that NBC and Fox, from a WWE point of view, feel respected in the process, says Nick Khan. So we're going to enter these negotiations with them, also noting that the rights of first refusal starts now. So he's going to give them first at bat for the negotiation process. Currently, WWE's linear TV rights deals with both NBCU and Fox each have the right to first refusal, and if they want to re-up, they can. If they want to refuse, they can. They're set up to expire next year in 2024. Additionally, its streaming deal with Peacock expires in 2026. This is what I mentioned. Nick Khan mentioning them going back to